see. So please, can we all see my screen?
I can't see it yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I can't see your screen. Not yet.
All right. So can you see my screen now?
Not yet.
So can you see now?
I can
Yes.
see it
Yes,
now.
I can. I can see your screen now.
All right, amazing. So basically, for today we are looking at Microsoft Power Platform. Like we'll be looking at today is the third week, and today we are looking at Introduction to Model-Driven Applications. So basically, right, model-driven applications are like the name is model-driven. It is basically driven by data. So using our Canvas app, we used SharePoint list, right? But using Microsoft, using model driven, you cannot use any other database except from database. And to start, before you delve into building with model driven application, you have to first use your database. So now if you look at this diagram that I have here, I have Power Apps. Then down here, I have Common Data Service. So formerly, database was called Common Data Service in Microsoft Power Apps. But now it is called database. All right. So anytime you hear model driven, just think of you modeling your data. That's actually what it's all about. So now we all know that Microsoft Power Platform is about low code, no code. When you're working with Canvas app, it gives you the flexibility to design your app, move your button, drop in your form, design those forms. I want to add color blue, color white, this and this, and this is how I want my app to be. When you're working with model driven, all you're thinking about is your data. So model driven, you need to understand how data works. So how does this data work? Using database, you work with tables. So, and you section your data. For instance, you have text. You look for the data type. We did that too in SharePoint list. You look for the data type. Okay, so for this text, I want it to be in the data type text. For numbers, I want it to be in the data type number. For let's say address. Now we know that for address, some people their address is number 75 Shomilaya Street, off Jayola Jata Estates, something something close. Then they will say Airport Road, Isolo, Lagos. Like that is very long. So we advise that you use multi-line of text. Now using database, we are going to look at all of that. Using database, you can also go ahead. You can also go ahead and say, okay, section it to say, I want the maximum number of text that will enter into this would be, let's say 100, because I know that some people they are going to write long story, you understand. Let's say you want to have a field where you want people to describe things. You could use multi-line of text, you could use text area. So when you're thinking about model driven, you are first you think about your data. How do I section my data? Now, when you have, like, for instance, I want to build an application where I want to build an application where I'm going to like be interfacing with customers. First, I know that, okay, I'm going to create like a database where these customers will submit their details. Then, but I know that my customers are buying something from me, all right? So I am going to, it's not advisable for you to have everything in one table. That's where we come to what we call relationship. So now, that's basically when you're looking at model-driven app, like I said, I just wanted to look at data. So I'm going to go ahead now and start the model-driven application demo because I'm talking about relationship and I want you to see what I'm saying. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen and I'm going to put up another screen. So all right. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, amazing. So let's just go back. So now, when you enter your Power Apps, we know how to get to this point, right? Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Do you know how to get to this point? Please just
Yes.
Yes, yes.
amazing. Okay, good stuff. So now, like I said, anytime you think of your model-driven application, you think of your data. So the first thing you do, oh, I want to build a model-driven application. The first thing you do is you look at your data, all right? So you come here to data, then you choose tables. Okay, so when you come to table, you choose new table and you would write everything you want to write. You would put the display name. So that is one way. Now it is advisable for you when you want to build an application that you don't just build it in silos. I mean that when I say silos, I mean you don't build it, you don't build it separately. So it's advisable that you come into your solutions, right? And you create a solution. Now, a solution is like, I want you to see a solution like a house, a big house. So I'm creating this house and I'm naming the house Omolola House. You know all those houses that you see and you see their names in front of it, Omolola House. Yes. So we are creating this house now. We are naming it Omolola House. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and create a solution and I'm going to name it demo. I'm just going to name it textiles. So this mansion that we are creating is no more Omolola. It's now textiles. Uh, Textiles demo. So we have Textiles demo. It's going to tell you to select a publisher. Okay, so I'm just going to use this default publisher. And you can, when you're creating, you might just have your own publisher and all created, but then I'll just use this default publisher. Then I'm going to create. So when I create this, I have this my Textiles demo, and we can see it here. This is the Textiles demo. Like I said, I want you to think of this as a house. Now, inside this house, we are going to have different rooms, all right? So those rooms will now be the things you want to do. So now, let's open this and see what we have. So we are opening the house, and now we can see that it has helped you arrange everything. You see all, you see apps, you see chatbots, you see cloud flows, you see tables. So if you are creating a table, you create it inside here. So if I want to create an app called, let's say I want to create an app for laptop, for selling laptop, and I name it, let's say, laptop vendor, right? That laptop vendor will be the solution. Okay, so anytime I enter into my solution, I can see my table. My table is where I'm storing my database. So I want you to think of a table as a container. All right, the container where you are storing all your data. Now, cloud flows are like, they are flows, they are is an automation tool that you use to automate processes. Okay. Then chatbot. So basically, whatever you are doing inside this particular house that you are creating is being stored here. So if I have my table is here. If I have my automation to my cloud flow, it will be inside here. If I have my chatbot, it will be inside here. Now I'm going to still create my using this table. Now remember that our aim for today is to create a model-driven application. So when we are creating the application will also reside in here in such a way that anytime you are looking for any of the things you created for this your laptop vendor, it will be here. You don't need to like start looking, oh, other tables. Where's the table for this? Where is the flow for this? Where is the application that I create? Everything you just come to your solution. And so for this one now, like I said, this beautiful house that we have created, we have named it Textile as Demo. So inside this Textile as Demo, maybe the next time if I want to check the tables that we created, I won't just go on that table and start looking for, here's the table that I created for Textile. I just come here and I see the table. I just come here, I see the flow, that if I have any flow, I just come here and see chatbot. I come here and I see maybe the app that I've created. Okay. So on that table now, just the same way we saw that table outside that I just showed us briefly, we are going to create our table. But now, like I said, we are creating our table inside this house. So you can see, if you see where my cursor is, you see Textile as Demo, and you see it is pointing to tables. Okay, so we are saying that inside the house, Textile, which is the solution, create a table. So on that table, we have, you can see now when you click on new, you see app, automation, chatbot, dashboard, report, security table. So this is the table that we are creating. We do new, we come to table. And you see new table, use table to hold and organize your data previously called entity. So when you are reading some materials, you will see that they call them entity. Please don't be confused. It was formerly, because see, Microsoft pushes a lot of updates. Microsoft updates monthly. If you were in the boot camp that we had, Microsoft updates monthly. Microsoft updates a lot of their products monthly, Power BI, Power Apps, and all of that. So Microsoft actually pushes updates regularly, like regularly. So it was formerly called entities, now it is called tables. And like I said, think of it as a container. It is used to store your data. So now, before you start creating, you should have had, you already have, definitely, you have what you want to solve, you have the app, you already have, okay, this is the app. So the first thing you do before you start creating all of this, I would advise that, for me, I always have a biro and a jotter. I have like a place where I have a jotter, or rather, let me just call it like a journal. So I would like draw a sketch and say, okay, I want to create. So for this demo now, we are going to be looking at creating an application for your organization. So the application is going to be for people in your organization to report, to report maybe a building that is bad, or to report something. So first, we are going to have a table called, let's say, problem entry. So that's going to be our table. Now we know that okay, let me break this down. For instance, I work in an organization where we have like 10 buildings. And at times I'm just going and, like, all those organizations that I don't know, that are really, really big, and they have so many buildings, maybe like 10 buildings in one compound, or so to say, or maybe they're not even in a compound, maybe it's like a group and they have different buildings all around. And let's say, as a manager, you go to one of the organization, and you see like one of the buildings that you have, and you see that this building is bad, and you want to just quickly report it. So that's what we are going to do. We are going to like be, and if you're reporting this, you need to, like, let's say, pick a department that will be under, like, that will be notified, okay, things like that. The department that you want, for instance, let's say you want to give this complaint. So which department do I think is going to handle this? You choose the department. So now I have mentioned three things. One, I've mentioned the problem that we are trying to report, right? Which is the mother table. It is the main table. So then we have another, we have another stakeholder, basically. Let me call it a stakeholder that we have mentioned. We have mentioned that you want to report buildings, right? So they ask you, what building do you want to report? So all those buildings already have names. So I'm painting a scenario for you, because when you want to solve when you want to solve a problem, they come to you as a problem. Then you think, okay, how best do I solve this? So for me, I am painting a scenario, a problem that I want to solve. So in all this problem now, it is not as if it's static. This one, what I'm talking about, is just about this particular problem that I want to solve. When you want to solve yours, the how you're going to go about solving yours is dependent on what your problem is. All right, what the challenge is. Don't let me call it problem. We don't have problems. What the challenge is. All right. So for this, I'm going to call this. So I'm going to call it problem entry, or you can just call it complaints. Oh yeah, I'll just call it complaints. I don't know which is best. Should we go with complaints, or we go with problem entry? You can unmute your mic. Should we go with complaints, or we should just go with problem entry?
Problem entry. Fine.
Problem entry. Okay. All right, great. So now it's saying enable attachments. Do you want to like include notes and files? So I'm going to just click yes, I want to enable attachments. Sorry, somebody saying something.
Elampa?
Email number.
Hi, Victoria. Please help me mute the participant that is not muted. Please let us try to all mute our mics. Thank you. So problem entry, then you save. So now, the way it works is that it is advisable for you not to put all your data in one table. Like I said, I mentioned that we have the problem that you want to solve, the challenge that you want to solve. We have the problem table. We also have now. I mentioned that there are different types of building that you want to solve, that you want to report, right? So okay. All right. Okay. So when you look at this now, you see problem entry, but then problem entry table comes with some standard columns. Standard columns means that columns that Power Apps generate for you. All of this, you see, I did not create all of this. They came with this table. These other columns here, they came with this table. I'm still going to explain all of this. So as I was saying earlier, I mentioned that when you want to, it's not advisable for you to put all your data in one table. So I mentioned that there are different types of buildings, okay? So that building, we are still going to have another table called building. We are still going to have another table called department. So what you do is that you will now your main table is this problem entry. That's your mother table. So you are going to marry your other tables to this main table, okay? And that's where your relationship comes in. But before you define the relationship, I want to explain what column means. So now when you have a table, right, that's a big container, meaning I open this room now, this large container, but then I want to arrange my data inside cartons before I put them inside this container. So that is what a column is. So I put all the data. For instance, let's say that my own data is I use the example of people that want to, let's say, sell laptop. So let's say my own data now is laptop. I'll arrange all the laptop inside carton, and I will now put it inside this column. Or I'll arrange it inside carton, then I will now put it inside this container, meaning I'm going to put it in this column. Column is the carton, and I'm going to place it inside this table. Okay. So that's what column is. So now when you are creating a column, let's say I want to create a column, that is where you now say that, okay, I want the data type to be text. I don't want the data type to be text. I want the data type to be text area. Okay, then you are going to put a name for it. Then, oh, I don't want the data type to be text area. I want the data type to be date because I'm trying to get the date. No, I don't want the data type to be date. I want the data type to be multi-line of text. So that's how we are going to, that's how column works. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and choose text. So we have started putting our data inside cartons, right? So right now what we are doing is we are creating the carton that we are going to put our data. So this type of carton that we want to put this data is text, right? So we just said problem reports that we want to, so we created problem entry, right? So first we can have name. So you can just say problem name. So tell me the type of problem that you want to report, and I want it to be type text. Okay, so I will click on done. All right, then I go again and say, when they open the form, so after them choosing the type, the problem name, I also want them to choose the description. I want them to describe. So when, for instance, if they say broken door, what do they mean by broken door? Is it the number of the door that was broken, or the entire door? So I would just say description. So description. And for description, I am going to choose so I can choose multi-line of text, I can choose multi-area, but the description, the person might want to write long stories, so I'll just choose text area. I'll choose done. I'll come again and say, after description, what else do I think that the table should have? Let me choose record on. So record on means that I want to choose the date. Now, if I want to create if I want to choose the day that this was actually created. I don't need to come and create date again. Do you know why? Because Power Apps has already, like when I created this table, problem entry, I told us that there are some standard column, standard carton already that came with it. So one of the carton is called created on. And this created on is data, the data type is dates. Look at it. The data type is date and time. So it will show me when this entry was actually created. So I don't need to create another custom column. The one I create myself is custom column. The one Power Apps already has created for me is called standard column. Okay. And we can see it here, see type, standard. The one I just created, description, you can see type, custom. Okay, so I've created problem name, I've created description. Another thing that I want to create, probably I want to create, I want to say address. Tell me the address of that building. Okay, what's the address of the building? Okay, give me the address of the building. So address of the building, like I said, address can be very long. They can make it very long. So let's just give them multi-line of text. Okay. So another thing, if you come to, so let me just go back. If you come here, right, and you click on advanced options, you will see all of this. Then you also see max length. Max length means this person is going to write a lot of words. The maximum length that I want this person to write is 2,000. So come here and I put 2,000. You can change it to say, I don't want it to talk too much, 1,000. 1,000 is too long, 200. But I'm going to leave it as 2,000 because it's multi-line of text, meaning that they can write several lines. So done. Now, so another thing is that when before you say that they are still in very bold letters, that's because you have not saved your table. So I would advise us to put all our columns before we save the table. Once you have saved the table, you cannot change the data type again. Once I save this table, I cannot change the data type from description to I can't change the data type from description from what's it called, from text area to, let's say, choice field again. I cannot. So I have address, I have problem name, I can use created on, description. Okay. All right. So does anybody have any question up to this point? Are we still following, or am I talking to myself?
Still following.
Okay. Are we still following? Can we please unmute your mic? Unmute your mic. Let me hear you. Are we still
Yeah,
following?
Homolola, I have a question.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, what's your name?
Bola is my name.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So these items display name that are still grayed out. Does it mean that you don't need them in this table, or they will
Which
still
one?
reflect? Like created by,
Oh, this? Are
modified.
you talking about this?
Yes, under the display name, those ones that are not as bold as address description. Does it mean that you don't need those items? So probably after creating the table, they might not really reflect, or they will still show.
They will. So this is how it works. All these ones that are actually very bold is because I've not saved the table. So their custom is basically telling you that Bola, these are the ones that you just added. Do you understand? These are the ones that I just added. Once I save now, They won't be as bold as this. So modified by, created on, all of these, like I said, they are columns. When I need them, I would call for them.
Okay.
Okay, so another thing is, if you look at this default here, this shows you everything. This is showing you all that you have. If you come here and you say, oh, I only want to see my custom, it gives you the one that you have created.
All right.
Okay. So does anybody have any other question before I go on?
Yes. So all those things that came up, they are there by default.
Yes, they are there by
And
default.
anytime we want to create, they will show up, and then it's left to you to go add the additional columns, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
So any created by, that's who has created this table, created on, import, modified by, modified on, owner, all of these things come. Then you will now, there are some I want to add. I want to add the address. But then one thing that we advise is that once you already have the, you notice that I want to choose date, but I already have created on, I don't need to necessarily put date anymore. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Can you delete any of those things that are there by default? Would there be any situation where it will like some of them may not be necessary for the table you are creating?
Yes. So they are there, right? But then now I've already created this table. So where I need this, where I'm going to need some of these things, when I'm about to do my view and my form, you see what we have when we get to that point. So when I'm doing my view and my form, right? I might not need, on my form, I might not want to put created on. I might not want to put some of these things, so I don't put it, but they are there. It's just like in this, I said that our table is a container. So in this container, I have plenty cartons. All these cartons are available, but I might not want to use this small carton. But it's not that it's not there. It is there, like it is inside the container. I just don't have use for it at this time.
So what do you do with it then? Can you hide them? Or they will
Yes.
still appear? There's a way of hiding, right? If you don't need
Yes,
them.
yes,
Okay.
exactly. So when you're creating your form, right? I don't need to put, you are going to see all of these things, but I don't need, like, you're going to see them available when you're about to create it. We'll get there when you're about to create your form, but I don't need to put all of these things in my form. Okay, I don't need to put all of these things in my form. All I need to just do is I need to select what I want to show in my form. I can even put some in my form and hide them. You will not see it. All right.
Yeah. Then one more question from
Thank
me.
you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. I know we have form in the Microsoft 365 Office, something like that. How is it different from Power App? We use the form to gather data. So then one can um, import it for maybe on Excel or Power BI for analysis. So how is Power App different from the form? I hope you know what I'm talking about.
Sorry, please, can you repeat that?
Okay, I said we have on Office 365,
Okay.
we have the form app also
Mm-hmm.
to gather data, which
Yes.
we can now import to probably Excel or Power BI for analysis. And looking at Power App now, I think it's doing something similar. But I want to ask if there are differences
Okay.
in their
Between, you're
functionalities.
talking about Microsoft Forms.
Yes,
Okay. Okay. All right. Is that all your question?
for now.
All right. So yeah, so your Microsoft form is different from your form inside your Power Apps. So the last class, I don't know if but I don't know if we used form at all our last pass, you will notice that for SharePoint, we also have form for SharePoint. And this form comes, like we have SharePoint on Canvas app, all right? And this form, they are basically because of your, like they come from your database, right? When you throw the form inside your Canvas app, it tells you to pick a database. And if you're picking, you can, because now you can also use database inside of Power Apps. All right. So inside of Canvas app, rather, you can use database inside of Canvas app. You can use SharePoint. So if you're using SharePoint, it tells you to pick the data source. If you pick SharePoint data source, it will automatically how would I put it, customize your form that's on Canvas app now according to what you have chosen, according to the database that you have chosen. All these things that we are doing now on this table, you would have already done it on SharePoint, right? And you will now put, you would, once you choose that, okay, I'm using this SharePoint list too, it would automatically put all the data, all the what did I call them, cartons, all these cartons, it will put them inside your form that is on Canvas app now. Just follow me, I'll get to differentiate and explain your get to your question well. So when you do that, now on that form for SharePoint, you can now remove that, okay, although I have this on my SharePoint, I don't want to see this in my I don't want to see this in my form. So you can remove them from your form on Canvas app. Here on model driven, you can remove, you can hide, as somebody asked that, you can hide. Now, these are how the forms in Dataverse as model driven and Canvas app works. So the form in Office 365, that's the Microsoft form, is different for these forms. Basically, if I'm just going to answer your question straight, I'll just tell you yes, it is actually different. Each of these applications, they have their own form. You understand? I mean, Canvas app has its own form. Model driven has its own form. The Microsoft Office 365 has its own form. That one, but they do the same thing. You know what form does? Form is used to get data from people. So that is what it does. I don't know, have I answered your question, or is there something you want me to say that?
All right, sorry to cut you. I have something to add. I don't know if I'm sure of your name, but your name is Bola, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So from what I see or what I get from your question, you are trying to ask why go through the stress of creating Power Apps forms when you can use Microsoft form, right? What's the advantage
Is
of
that your question?
It's part of it. It's part of
okay.
it.
So Microsoft form has limits to customization. Fine, we know we can put our forms into sections and say when someone chooses this particular option, let this next thing show, sections and all. But Power Apps forms, either Canvas or model driven, has a lot of things that can be done with it. We build Power applications to automate business processes. There's a limit to what Microsoft form can do.
I agree
You
with
can't
you.
design, you can design your application to look very beautiful, less stressful for use. And when your Microsoft form is having about 100 questions and it's just, you just have to scroll down, you don't have to click a button to go to tab and all. It might be boring, sincerely. And one of the reasons why sometimes we choose Power Apps over Microsoft form is because of the UI. That's just to add to it. So they have like different things. Microsoft understands that yes, some processes can be automated with Microsoft form, but sometimes you need to create an application that has to do with embedding a lot of things. For example, I don't want my users to go see Excel that is very boring, or the SharePoint list that we are submitting data to that the look is very boring. But I can create an application where they'll fill the form, and somebody like an admin on that app can see everything that has been submitted in a very beautiful table. That's just an example of what we use Power Apps forms, or why we create Power Apps. Because from what I got from your question, you are wondering, oh, since we have Microsoft Form, why can't we just do Microsoft Form and not use forms on Power Apps? So I don't know, when as this class continues and as you learn more, you see sometimes when you're automating business processes, you have to decide for your customer, for yourself, to say, oh, should I use Power Apps Form in this case? Should I use Microsoft Form? You would know as time process and progress which of the form you are to use. I don't know if you get.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
All right, thank you very much. Omola, please continue. Thanks.
All right.
Okay,
I think
hello,
somebody
hello, I
has
have a
another.
question. Hello,
Okay.
Amalala.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, the columns you created the address column, the description. Yeah. I didn't see where you clicked on to create those columns. Is it create on? Yeah. Hello?
Okay, so
Yeah.
yes, I can hear you. I
Can you
can
go
hear
over
you.
that again, please?
Yes, so can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
So see add column here. Can you see my cursor? Hi, can you see my cursor?
No, I can't see your cursor. Add column where?
Can you see this?
Okay.
So click on add column,
Yeah.
and that's how you create a column.
Create
Is
a
that
column.
fine?
Okay, all right. Thanks. I was looking for that. Okay, thank you.
All right. So okay, so does anybody have another question? Are we all together? Does anybody have any other question before I go on? Ife, are you in this class?
Yes.
Hi, Ife.
Yes, I am.
Do you have any question?
No.
All right. Does anybody have any other question? Sorry, is Tosin in this class? Hi, Tosin, are you in this class? All right, we'll just continue. Okay, so in the absence of any other question, I'm just going to continue. So we have address, we have description, we have problem name. For this problem entry, what other thing do you think we should add? So I'm throwing it open. What other thing do you think we should add to this? Please unmute your mic. Let's make this as interactive as possible, because I'm going to give us assignment and we are going to be submitting our assignments. In fact, the checking of the assignments will be one-on-one so that we can see, monitor progress and see how we are doing. What other thing do you think we should add? What other column do you think we should add to this table? Unmute your mic, unmute your mic, unmute your mic.
Hi, Amala. Maybe the department. Did we add that?
Sorry, what did you say?
I'm sorry. I said maybe the department. I don't remember if we added that.
No, we've not added that. So what we are going to do is that we are going to have another table for that. So basically, the main stakeholder, this problem we are trying to solve. So we have problem entry already. We are going to have another table called department. We are going to have another I mentioned it earlier. Can somebody remember?
I don't know about anyone else, but it kind of broke up for me. I didn't hear the part that you said after we're going to add a table called department. But I think I was wondering if we needed a column called department to relate it back to the table. Is that the
Yes.
way this works?
Yes. So this is it, right? So anytime you're trying to create
Hello, please, I can't hear anything.
Hello, is it just me or Omodola has gone off?
Yeah, she's gone off.
Oh,
I think our internet went off.
sorry,
are you back?
sorry, like yes, I'm here. Remember how we
Okay,
started
okay.
some Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello? Hi, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so as I was saying, when you're trying to
It's
Okay,
gone out
good.
again.
Hello. Hello. Jana, please, can you ask your question again?
Yes.
Omodola, you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Just hold on. I want to change my internet.
Okay, while we wait for her, Jana, can you please ask your question again?
Yeah, so my question was if we're doing the problem entry, I'm thinking that the person who's entering.
Hello, is it just me? Hello.
It's not
No,
just
I'm
you,
here
it's
with
all
you.
of us.
I can hear.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm here with you.
I can't hear Jana again. That's why I was wondering. Let's just wait. I think Omodola got a question, so should.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Jana, are you back?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, thank you. So I was wondering if if the person, so say for instance, I'm creating a new problem entry and I'm filling out the form and I have to put in the department, don't I still need a column for the app to go and look up the department name for
Okay. I get your
Hi.
question. So I
Mhm.
think Omodola was supposed to like go into that. We
How
are
did you
trying to
do
take
that?
it bit. Can you hear me? Omodola, are you back?
Yes, I'm back. Apologies, apologies. I'm so sorry. Okay, so you were asking a question. So please just I appreciate if you can repeat your question while I share my screen.
Okay, so in the problem entry, do you want
Mhm.
people to select the department name or the department that they are reporting on behalf of?
Yes.
Okay, so my question was, um, for the problem entry, for the record to have that, don't we still need a department column so that the app can do like a lookup to the department table and then bring that information back? unless I'm thinking that something wrong.
Okay. So this is what we are going to do. So can you see my screen?
Not yet.
So please let me know when you can see my screen. Hi, can we all hear me? Please let me know when you can see my screen.
I can hear you, Amala, but I can't.
I can't see your
screen yet.
Still not okay. It's still not okay.
Okay, so it's
Okay.
There we go. I can see.
Okay, I can.
Yeah, it's up
Great.
now.
Okay, so to explain now, everything we've been explaining is columns, right? To explain relationship, we are going to, like I mentioned earlier, that when you are creating a when you're trying to solve a problem, it's not advisable for you to have all your column in one table, just in one table. It's great when you divide, like when you have like four different tables, or maybe two tables, different three tables, depending on how big, or depending on the challenge you're trying to solve. So when I was talking, I when I was explaining earlier, I mentioned that we have I mentioned that we have key stakeholders in this problem we are trying to solve. Okay, so there's the problem entry, now there's the department, and there's the we mentioned department. We also mentioned another table that we are going to be creating. Okay, so I said that this problem entry is going to be the mother table. All right, then we are going to now have other tables, like we're going to have other tables married. I use the word married. We're going to have other tables married to this table. Okay, so that is where relationship comes in. You're basically going to define how you're going to have another table. Okay, so but you're going to define the relationship between this mother table and this other table. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
All right. So I mentioned that we are trying to report problems of different buildings of an organization. So we mentioned that we are going to have a table called building, to say, okay, it is building. Let's say there are 50 buildings, for instance, and each building has a name. So one of the building is named Victoria, one of the building is named Omolola, one of the building. Sorry, what's your name?
Jana.
What?
Jana.
Jonah.
Yes.
So one of the building is named Jonah, for instance, and let's say we have another building named Ife. We have another building named Bola. We have another building named Emmanuel. So we are going to have all of these building, okay? And we are going to now you know that for each of those building, okay, all this building that I've mentioned, we're having a big table, which is table building. We are going to have columns, which will be all of these buildings that I've mentioned. Building this, building that, building that, inside that, inside this. Then we are going to marry this whole table. We'll marry it to the existing table that we have. Now, when you're trying to marry tables, you have many to one, you have one to many, you have many to many, depending. So I'm going to explain this, but we need to actually go and we need to go to this table and save this table. Remember that we have not saved the table. Are we all together? Does anybody have any other question?
No, thank you.
Okay, so address, we have description, we have problem name, and we are just going to save this. So it takes a while for it to save. All right, so now that it has saved, you see that it's no more as bold as it was. Can we see that? So everything is now the same. But if you come here to this, or you can just choose, you can choose to see all of your columns, but you can also choose to see the custom columns, meaning the columns that you created. You can just see that here. Okay. So, all right. Okay, so that's column. And now we are going to now come back to tables. And we're going to create another table. We're going to create another table and we're going to call it department.
I don't know if it's me. Sorry, excuse me.
Okay.
But it's not working on my screen. It's as if it's frozen. I don't know if it's just me.
I don't understand. What's not working on your screen?
Okay, now it's come up. Thank you.
Okay.
I think it was frozen before.
Oh, all right. All right.
Sorry, Omonola, please could you go over what you just clicked now?
Okay.
Because we couldn't see your screen. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Yes, I want to place this panel. So this is what I did. I came here and okay, sorry, give me 1 minute. Just all right, so please, I'm sorry for the interruption. Sorry, please just give me 1 minute. Okay, so are we all together up to this point? This is problem entry here. You can see everything that we did, right? So I just saved the table and I came to tables. I selected tables because I want to create another table. Hi, are we together?
Yeah.
Okay, is that fine? Can I go on?
Yes.
Okay, so we have new. When you click on new, you go to table the same way we created table, and you just same way we created table, the same way we created this first table, that's problem entry. So we'll just come here and we choose another table. Now we know that we want to create table building, right? So we just in here we just have table building and we save table building. So you notice that now under your solution, which is your house, Textilas demo, you can see that you now have two tables. You have problem entry table, which you have columns. Then you have another table called building. This building table is actually empty. It's empty. It's not like empty. If you click on this, if you click on Okay, so if you click on the building table, you will see all of your standard columns that Power Apps has already generated for you. You will see that I did not create any custom column. All right, these are all the, see, if you come here and you choose custom, I don't have any custom column. This name is automatically, it comes, you can say primary name column, it comes with every table that is created, and it treats it as a custom table. Every other table, all of this column, they are all of these columns are standard columns, meaning that it's generated by Power Apps. Do we get that? Like, because we did that when we did problem entry. Now we are on building. Are we good? Should I go on? Is there something you want me to go over?
Okay.
If you have any question at all, please ask me. If there's something that is not clear, ask me. Or should I ask those questions?
Yes.
I should ask those questions. Okay. Can somebody tell me why I have two tables? Why do I have two tables?
Sorry, what was the question you asked? Can you go over that again?
Yes, why do I have two tables?
You said it's not advisable to put all our data in one table.
Amazing. Thank you. Okay, so we are going to just go ahead and create the third table now. So how I do that is, currently is building that is being clicked. I come back to table and I click on tables and I click on new. Then I click on table. I don't know, did you get that? I come to new, I click on this app. So I come to new. You can see all your table. We have problem entry table, we have building table. So I come here and I click on, please give me that, give me a minute. So I don't know currently why it's
Hello.
not. Hi.
Hello, Homolola.
Hi.
Yeah, good
Hi.
afternoon. Yeah, I joined the session a bit late, but from what I think you're about to do is about you're creating a database for our form. But please, can you please go back to the building table? You said once you create the building table, that automatically Power Apps creates some of the columns for us. Sorry, with my little knowledge about MySQL, for PHP MySQL, when we want to create a table, we input all the information, all the columns ourselves, depending on what we want to do, like the problem entry. Yes. So now, please, yeah, I was saying C55 name under the display. CR52. Is that the name of the database? I'm seeing some kind of on the second column. Can you see it where we have CR522 underscore building? And also, is that CR5? Is it a database name or something? But I'm a bit confused about. The first. Okay, sorry, ma. I'm a bit confused about the first two columns, display name and the name. Can you just please try to go back a bit to explain? Sorry, I'm sorry I'm dragging the class back. Just want to be on the same page.
It's fine.
Thank
you. Fine. Yes, it's fine. So you see what I'm trying to do here so that you will not be confused, okay? So now the name of the name of the table itself is called building. Okay. Then you have different columns. Now, when you're trying to create a table, it gives you automatically, right? A custom column comes with it. Okay, and the custom column is like he names it. It's generic. So every custom column, when it comes with every table comes with standard columns, right? And it comes with one custom column. So every that one custom column that perhaps creates for you is called name. It's basically saying that the name of the table. But so that you will not be confused, you can just, for instance, if when we created problem entry, we also have let me just show us so that I will not be talking off my head. Yes, I want to close this. So if you come to problem entry here, you will see that we also have name. Can you see this name here? Hi, can you see this name?
Yes, I can see it. Yes.
So if you don't want to make mistake, you can just change it and say problem name. Problem name, okay? Done. Now another thing you mentioned, you said that you create all the columns that you're meant to create all the columns that as you were referring to SQL, right? SQL. And you create all the columns that you need. So for this, yes, if you look at this problem entry, I don't know when you joined the class. So for the problem entry, we created. Now I edited some. So I need to save the table again. So for the problem entry, we created some custom. We created some custom columns, right? 3 or 4. We created some custom columns, but for building, we have not created any custom column. I want you to see that we have this. I can just go ahead and use all of these standard columns without creating a new one, because for this building, all I need to do is just to get the name of the building. I mentioned that we can have 50 buildings, and building Lola, building Victoria, building Bola, building Emmanuel. So we can have 50 buildings. So all I actually just need is the name of the building. Okay. So for this, so that we will not be confused, let's just name it building name. Okay. Building name. All right. Building name, then you save your table. Please mute your mic.
Hi, sorry, please, I have a question.
Hi. Good morning.
Okay, please, I want to ask. I've heard that when using a modern-driven app, it's different from Canvas app where you have the ability to be able to design your app by yourself. It's the data you put into your app that will build your app for you. So I was asking, this table you created right now is actually showing all on it. So I'm asking, is everything showing on your screen now? Is it going to show on the app, or is the costume that is going to show? Is it things you input into the app, that the table that is going to show?
So we are going to get there. So currently now, I'm teaching us how to model our data, like the name model driven. I'm teaching us how to model our data. All right. So we have two data. We have two tables currently. Okay. So when we are done with these two tables, we are going to go. Can we see all of these things? So this is column that we are still on. So now that we have two tables, we want to create relationship between these two tables. Because of our time, I'm not going to create the third one. We're going to create relationship between these two tables. All right. I'm going to explain what business rule is. I'm going to explain how to now show your bill and your form. You see these two things, views and form, is actually where you talk to all of these columns that you have created to say that, okay, this view, I want to be able to view, because now when somebody start using this your app that you're going to build using all of this data, they input data into this column that I explained that are called cartons, right? When they keep data inside all of this carton, you can come on the app, you can check the data, but on your database, if you're a database, let's say you're the one managing this database now, you can just come to data. When you come to data, you will see currently now there's no data because nobody has actually, they've not started using the app. There's no data. You don't have any data now. But when you have data, you can just come here and hi. Sorry, please can you mute your mic if you're not talking?
No.
You're not asking a question. Victoria, please can you help me mute this person?
Have you seen the code?
All right, please can we continue? Okay. So this, as I was explaining earlier, so this data, okay, once this data comes in, once they start using your application and they start putting data into the application, you would be able to see now using your view. Your view means that I want to say that when I check this data as a database engineer now on the back end, because your front end will be your model driven. That's what that's what people in your organization interact with. But you see this back end data, that's where like your database engineer, like you that you are building, you the app maker, you can come and say, okay, this data, this entry that just entered, I want to delete it. This entry, I don't want it. Do you understand? So now, what entry are you going to see? That's where your view comes in. So I come and I say that, let me choose one of our data, one of our tables. Remember that we pick address. We chose address. We have problem entry. We have address. We have problem name. So I can come and say when I'm checking the data here.
Amala, I'm sorry. Is your screen still on the data tab? It hasn't moved for me. It might be frozen again. Is it just me?
I'm still there. It hasn't moved.
Yeah, they returned the code. They didn't send it. It's my second number. I've not seen it. Returned it. They didn't send it.
Please, when you join, please mute your mic.
Okay, so I've noticed most times it's not when they join. It is maybe they joined with their phone, a call came in. As they get to pick the call, it's kind of unmutes their mic.
Oh wow.
So they have to go mute their mic, else we hear what they say. So when the person is back out, like I'm sure the person can hear me now, so that this doesn't happen again.
Okay. Because we are recording this. All right. So okay. So somebody was saying that my screen please, what can you see? Can you see relationships?
No, we are still on data. So what you're saying doesn't correspond with what we're seeing.
Oh my God.
Okay, so Omalola, we can see data.
You're seeing what?
Data. Yeah, on the tab data.
All right. I think my internet is okay, so please just I just on share to share again. All right. So this is relationships, right? Please, can you see my screen? So I'm so sorry for all of this sharing
yes.
and I'm so sorry for all of this sharing and resharing, and it's almost 12.
Yes, it's almost 12.
Okay, please, can you see my screen now? And are we on relationships? Everybody.
I can.
You can see it
It's
now.
up now. It's up now.
Okay. All right. Please, if you're in a noisy place, please don't unmute. Okay, thank you. All right, so this is we have relationships now. So we have relationships now. We have business rule, we have views, we have forms, we have dashboard, we have charts, we have key, we have commands, we have data. So I'm scrolling so that I want to see if you can see. Can you are you on data now? Can everybody see the data part?
It's coming up.
Okay, so I don't know why it's actually slow. I don't know why it's actually slow. But okay, so we'll soon be rounding up. But then before we do, I want us to actually finish relationship, okay? So that I want us to, so now I know that we've all done columns, right? And we've all done, we've done columns, we've created table, we've done columns, and we are going to do relationship. So I'm going to give us an assignment on this. Then next week, we're going to come back next week. We're going to look at views, we're going to look at forms, and we're going to look at data. All right. So for business rule and dashboard, business rule dashboard chart, and some of these other stuff that you can see here, business rule dashboard chart, we are going to do that for Power Apps intermediate class. Okay. So can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now let us go to our table
Yes.
and quickly do the relationship. Okay. So now this is a table. I'm trying to add. Okay. Let's see if I have my tables saved. So my building table is saved, and my problem entry table is saved. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to work with these two, and we're going to now create the relationship we're going to create the relationship between problem entry and building. So basically, remember I explained to us that problem entry is the mother table, and we are saying that building is related to problem entry in a way. Now, relationship is where you say, okay, what kind of relationship does building as with what kind of relationship exists between problem entry and building? Okay, so are they husband and wife? Are they siblings? Are they like mother to? Is it like a relationship between a parent and a child? So this is where we are going to define that. So you come to add relationship, and you see many to one. Okay, you see one to many. You see many to many. So this is what we are going to do. We come to problem entry, right? We come to problem entry. Problem entry is the mother table. So meaning that if you go to relationship and you click add relationship and you choose many to one, now the many is problem entry, then the one is building, meaning that every building will have problem entry. Do you understand? And problem entry will have any problem entry will have a table, a building attached to it. Do you understand? So this is what you do. the current is many, right? So we are choosing a relationship called many to one relationship. So this is the many relationship, and we have problem entry is already there because I clicked on problem entry to choose this relationship. So under related, now I want to map a table. I want to say, okay, I want to connect a table to my problem entry. So the table I'm connecting to my problem entry, I'm going to come look for my building. All right. Can we see that?
Yes.
Yes.
So somebody mentioned lookup. Somebody spoke to me about lookup the other time. Who was that?
That was me, Malala.
Yes. So can you see what we have here? It's saying that lookup column display name. So now on your mother table, which is the problem. So on your mother table, which is the display name, we are going to have a lookup, which is building. So what lookup means is, it's just like when I say Victoria lookup, Biodun lookup, raise your head and look up. It's just, I want you to look at it like that, meaning that inside problem entry, okay, any column that I put in inside building, the table building, any column under the name, I mentioned that we can have 50 buildings. I can have building Lola, building Victoria, building this, building that. So if I enter all this data into this table to say that there are 50 buildings, okay, when I come into my main table problem entry and I say lookup, I'm saying that I have access to the data in building. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I think so.
Okay, there's no problem.
Can I ask a question? Okay, I wanted to ask a question. When you're done, Jana.
Oh, go ahead. I'm done.
So are you saying, like, under this building, you would have several buildings?
Yes.
All linked up to this problem entry. So if you pick one building, you will see problem entry. If you pick building, maybe ABC, each of them will have problem entry.
No.
I'm just trying to understand the connection.
Yes. So awesome. This is it. You remember I told you that when you want to create a problem, a solution, when you want to create a solution, don't have everything in one table. All right. So we now broke it down. We have two tables currently. We have problem entry and we have building. Okay. So the idea of all of this is that when I'm creating a report, I want to send it to for instance, I want to create an entry to say that, okay, this problem that I'm trying to put, right, is problem broken door, okay? And they are saying, okay, which of our building are you talking about? Do you understand? So you'll be able to select a building. Building Lola. Oh, I'm talking about building Lola. The front door has broken. Do you understand? So what this will do is, now, you know that I mentioned to us that a table is a container, okay? So I want you to look at building as a container, and we have different cartons inside that container. So all these cartons are all the different names of all those buildings. There's building Lola, building this, building that. So all the data, when you put all this data into the building table, to say that I have 50 buildings. When you now, since I have mapped building to my problem entry data, my problem entry table, okay, and it's going to be a lookup, meaning that anytime I'm inside problem entry table, I can look up to the data inside a building table. So anytime I want to fill an entry, okay, and I want to say that a door is broken, because I can look up into the building table, okay, do you know what it means? It means that you will be able to see all the available tables or all the available data. You'll be able to see all the available data that you have put into your building, into your table building. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Okay, I think I might understand it. So my question is, the problem entry table that we created is not where the data is stored. Is it stored somewhere else? Is that why we can look up the building and not have a column for it?
No, your data is actually stored in your problem entry table. The only data that you're putting in your building table is all the existing building that you have. All those 50, remember I mentioned 50 buildings, right?
Right.
So all those buildings that you have, right, you input them in your building table to say that I have 50 buildings. Now, when somebody wants to fill a form, that's when we are going to draw our form next week. So when somebody wants to fill a form, do you know what they would do? They would start filling the form and say, what are they picking? They pick the problem, right? They write the problem. A door has broken. When they're about to choose the building, right? Remember that on the table problem entry, we did not create a column building. Remember?
Right.
Yes. But now you are going to have access to the column building because I am mapping the building table to the problem entry table. Do you understand?
Maybe when I see it, but I do understand what you're saying though. Thank you.
Okay. Does anybody have any other question before we go on? But then let's just see. Let's see what we're saying. So we have problem entry, we have building. So it's saying look up column display name, building. So let's check what we have on that general. General, you see the relationship name, problem entry, building is mapping them together and saying advanced options. It says referential, remove link, no parental, custom. Okay, so we're not touching this general and this advanced options. We're just going to choose done. And now we are going to save our table, but there's something I want you to see. Okay, that is very important. Now, our problem entry, under our problem entry, remember that I did not create I did not create building under problem entry. All right, I did not create building under problem entry. I created building on its own, but because I am mapping problem entry inside, I'm mapping building to problem entry. Now, under problem entry, I can see building. Now, okay, so this is what it is. Okay, here in database, I have my parents' house and I have my house. Okay, but then because I have mapped myself to my parents, okay, I'm saying that anytime you enter into my parents' house, you can have access to the rooms in my house. I don't know if do you get that?
Yes, I get it now. It all makes sense. It just basically took the existing column from the other table and inputs it into the problem entry table. So you don't have to create it. It does it on its own.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you. So you're going to save. So you now is saving. You can see why I was emphasizing and saying that have we all created that, because you need to be doing all of this. I remember when I said that database is like you're diving deeper into the water, because you have to do this for you to actually know what you're doing. Okay, so now we have building. We can see building is no more bold because we have saved. We have building now. All right. So this is what we are going to do. So okay, so we have, this is building, we have all of this. This is parliamentary, we have all of this, okay? So the way you can actually add data into building, because now what I want to do, I want to be able to put in a lot of data, all those 50 buildings that we talked about. I want to put all those 50 buildings in our table building. But then to be able to do that, that's where we need our form. All right, but I'm not going to go into form and views now because of our time. So, or should we go on? I don't know if you are still like, if you still want us to go on, you want us to see how we put, but left to me, I'm going to say
No.
we shouldn't go on. We shouldn't go on, right?
No.
All right, all right. I don't think we should go on to. So please, you're going to do me a favor. Okay, I'm going to drop my number now, and you can send me a WhatsApp message if you want to. So this is what we are going to do. Today, we looked at table, we created a table, right? And we created columns inside this table. We created another table building. We didn't create columns inside building, all right? What we did was we just renamed, that's right. So we renamed the column inside we renamed the column, the custom column that comes with it, okay? And we created relationship between these two tables, and that is exactly what I want us to do. I want us to replicate this. So over the during the week, send me messages if you have any issues at all. I'm going to help you solve it. So come next week, we are going to look at, I'm going to explain business rules. I'm going to explain views, form. At once now, model driven is not difficult at all. Once you actually understand how to model your data, the next thing you do is that you connect it to your app. What remains, once you are done with all of this, what is remaining won't be so much. So we need to do our view, we need to do our forms, we need to do, I need to show you how you view your data. All right. So do we promise that we are going to try this out?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm still waiting for more people to talk. Do we promise that we're going to try this out? Do we promise that we're going? I have like 14 people.
Yes. Yes.
All right, so we've come to the end of this class. Does anybody have any question at all to ask? Is there any question? Is there anything you want me to like just explain? Tables,
Yes, please.
tables. Okay, go on.
So the final outcome when you showed us the link after using the relationship to connect, does it pull together just the items on the column that appear on both tables?
Okay, so the thing is, we've not done our form. So we've not started putting data into our table building. So like I said, what it's going to do is when you're trying to create a report, that's when you're trying to report that, okay, this building has broken, right? That relationship, what it just means is that you are going to have access to all the data that you have put in your table building, even though you did not have to bring manually, you don't have to bring building under your problem entry manually. Do you understand? So
Yes.
you're going to have access. For instance, now, once you open your form, all those the way we are going to do our form, right? All those custom columns that we created, we are going to put it on our form. We are going to put some standard column on our form to say, okay, created on, this was the day I created this report, right? It's going to be on our form. So when you as an employee of this company, of textile company, once you come and you want to you want to create an entry, what will happen is that you would automatically have access to all the to all the to all the data in my table building. So you will just see, you automatically see building there, and you'll be able to, it will be like a drop down. You'll be able to select, oh, I want Omolola building. I want to report the building Omolola. But this will make more sense when we start doing something. So we might not even wait till next week, okay, before we start um doing forms. If you send me screenshots, you send me messages, and you want to start doing some of these things on your own, I'm going to guide you. But then when we come next week, we are going to go and we are going to look at forms. We are going to look at you, everybody together. But it will be easier because you've already done it on your own. So please send me a message, chat me up. If I don't reply immediately, I'm going to reply you anyway. So please chat me up, send me a message. Let's do this. Okay? Have I answered your question? I know, right?
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Okay, does anybody have any other question you want to answer? Is there any other question? Do we have any other question? Hi, Cheska, Eno, Jana, Ife. Does anybody have any other question you want me to answer?
No, thank you.
No question.
All right, thank you so much, everybody. We've come to the end of this class. See you next week. Please don't, I'm going to drop my number and ensure to start doing something. Please if you need help creating your developer account, please reach out to any of the mentors. If you need help with anything, last class, this class, first class, please reach out to the mentors, reach out to us. We are here to walk you through. Thank you for joining today's class. See you next week. And the time will be communicated to you. The time for